So you want to make a cat couch. Well, I can help you with that. I've made like 50, and I've even made them for some celebrities, like former Jeopardy host Mayim Bialik.
Thank you, darling. This is so cute.
So this advice is not just for cat couches, it's for dog couches, guinea pig couches, human couches? Sure. I guess if you want to try. What you're gonna need is wood, foam, batting, fabric, and legs. I always got my wood from the hardware store. I would get plywood. You don't want to go less thick than 1/2 inch. It really affects the stability and strength of the frame you're going to build. So make sure you go 1/2 inch or above. 3/4 is even better, but it does get more expensive as you go thicker. So be mindful of that. One thing I did at one point was I would go on Craigslist and I would search for plywood in the for sale section, and actually a couple times people just put a ton of it for free. It would always come with a catch. Like for example, I drove I think almost 2 hours to go get a ton of plywood one time, but they didn't mention it was in these huge sheets, and my car is like tiny, like comically small, like clown car small. I luckily had my jigsaw. For foam, you can buy that on Amazon, or you can go to a craft store like Joann's or Michael's. I would always use 1 inch to 2 inch thick. And if you want to save money, what I would do is I would actually use a mattress topper, like the egg crate kind. And I would go to Target, and I would get, you go to like the Target app, you can sort by most cheap to most expensive, and you can get a queen size foam topper for $10. That's multiple sofas right there. You might be confused if you try to type in batting online, because there's also a type of batting called quilting batting, and that's different than the upholstery batting that you need to get. It's a different texture and it's a little bit more like a blanket, so make sure you get the upholstery kind, right? When you're sourcing your fabric, this can get very costly very fast. One time when I was selling couches, there was somebody I was working with that actually wanted to source their own fabric, and it ended up being $300 extra for their own fabric. But there's so many different ways to get medium quality fabric for not that much money. For example, most of the couches I've made have been velvet. A great way to get velvet fabric inexpensively is to just buy velvet curtains on Amazon, or you could buy a textured blanket on Amazon. These are ways that you could just get your fabric for $20 to $30. One set of 2 panels for a curtain will be more than enough for your couch, or you could get, say, a queen or king size blanket on sale and make something really cool. I have made furniture legs before, just from like wood planks, and I don't recommend it because it's so easy to get a nice, smooth, modern look from really inexpensive furniture legs on Amazon. Most of the ones that I bought for a lot of my projects for only $13, and it would be like this really cool mid-century modern design. But there's actually a ton of different designs online, and they also have these A-frame ones that are another way to make it look modern. There's just so many different ways to get a cool look and without having to spend a lot of time on it or money. So what I recommend before putting your frame together is upholstering each piece of wood, because you're gonna have 4 pieces, right? You're gonna wanna upholster them separately and then attach them after with either a nail gun or screws. The reason that you wanna do this is because you wanna be able to get the smoothest finish on top of your upholstery. And this is something that I wish that I knew when I first started making these, because it does get pretty hard as you're trying to like fit and stuff fabric and batting and foam into like little corners that you can barely access. It's just much better to put it all together, put the fabric and the foam and the batting in, and then staple it all down and then attach the pieces together. You've got all your materials. You've got your puzzle pieces for the frame. You've upholstered each puzzle piece, and then you're putting it all together. But here's the thing, when you get to your sides, you're usually gonna have something called a side panel, and that's either gonna be square, or it's gonna be round, or it might even have a winged edge. And this is the hardest part of making a sofa. If you don't have sewing experience, it's gonna be really challenging to accomplish this. So my recommendation for when you get to this part is to simply hand sew it. You've gotten your puzzle pieces for your frame, you've put it all together, you've completed your side panels. Then you're gonna need a cushion and you're gonna need throw pillows. And it's up to you, like with your design, because I've made some types of couches that don't actually need a separate detaching cushion, or maybe you do want a separate detaching cushion specifically because you have a long-haired cat and you want to be able to wash it. This is really going to need to be customizable for what you're looking for. If you do go through all the suggestions that I mentioned, I definitely want you to tag me because I want to see your work, and just DM me with any questions that you have. I hope this video was helpful.